Good morning and hello from the new microphone here at Offbeat here on North Shore 9 presented by FanDuel. My name is Alex Stumpf. This is a daily look at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, but we're going to jump in today. I was going to talk about Mitch Keller regardless today because I had a good conversation with him in Bradenton, and the fact that he had a bad spring start isn't going to deter that for me because spring training starts don't really matter. You're working on things you want to work on, and yeah, that was a rough one out there for what was probably a penultimate spring start for him. He's probably got to do one more just looking at the schedule. Yeah, not a great start. 6 runs, some hard hit balls, a couple homers. It is what it is. Earlier this month, whenever I was in Bradenton, I did talk to him because I noticed that the pitch mix that he had is very different from the Mitch Keller of a couple years ago. The Mitch Keller that was an all-star in 2023. The Mitch Keller that had solidified himself in 2024, 2025 as a middle-of-the-rotation guy. And some of it's easy to see like, hey, the cutter is pretty much gone. It's still in the back pocket. He could go back to it if he wants to do that, but it's really not there. We haven't seen a lot of the gyro slider this spring. And this guy who had at one point, it felt like 7-8 pitches, has really been rolling with four-seam, sinker, sweeper, changeup, curveball. And the last two are really against left-handers. It's a very different pitch mix. And in the conversation that Mitch and I had, he dropped this one just to kind of wrap it up. He's like, quote, "It's definitely different. You have to adapt." It's definitely different. You have to adapt. That's in reference to his pitch mix. And maybe it's a little bit of a sports, cliche or anything, but I do like that mindset. And it's not just in terms of the mix, it's in terms of a lot of the approach. Because last year, the changeup was a project for him. He really needed to get that pitch back. He relied on the cutter too much against left-handed hitters, and we know the results that he had against left-handers in 2024. They weren't good. So he revamps the changeup. He starts throwing the curveball more to left-handers, and he talked about how he wanted to get the inverted break down to about 0, just let gravity move the pitch. This year, it wasn't really a project, but he wanted to find something repeatable, something that felt good out of the hand, and it moves differently, and it kills some spin, and it's looking like a positive pitch. But then my mind kind of went like, why do you mess with something that kind of worked? And then I looked at Keller's results against left-handers. Because just eyeballing it, watching all those games last year, it's like, yeah, he's doing better. Except he really didn't. 2024, 268 batting average against left-handers, 2025, 270. For the analytical side, 347 WOBA, weighted on base average against left-handers in 2024, 343 in 2025. They were remarkably similar results, and neither that good. Like, they need someone like Keller in this rotation. They need someone who can just handle innings, a reliable hand. And outside of Paul Skeens, he's the only guy on this 40-man roster right now who has thrown 150 professional innings in a season. Now, I suspect, like Bubba Chandler will probably cross that threshold this year. And I wouldn't be shocked if like Braxton or Hunter Barco or someone like that, who maybe not has hit that mark in the past, but they're going to need those innings from somewhere. Keller's a big part of that. It's why going into the offseason, I impressed upon the point that, hey, you can't just ditch this guy. Maybe he's costing a little more than what a team with the the Pirates with the payroll they have, maybe they're allocating a bit too much of their resources to one pitcher who's arguably, there's a chance Mitch Keller's got to be like the 4 in this rotation. If like Jared Jones comes back healthy and Bubba takes a step forward or Braxton takes a step forward, like there is a scenario where Mitch Keller is not in the front half of this rotation. I think that says more about, the young arms the Pirates have than it does about Mitch. But there is that scenario. Why do you pay him that much? Well, because you need someone who is going to handle, this rotation. The guy who's not going to screw over the bullpen. If he has a bad start, I'm going to wear it. I think that's why the ERA has been inflated a little bit the last couple years. Last year was a bit different, that he did not get off to the super hot start, but the trade-off was he held the pace a whole lot better than he did in 23 and 24, where he was an all-star in 23. I would argue just as good in 24 in the first half of the season, and then both years he's faltered in the second half. That didn't happen in 25. He was just a pretty steady, I'm going to give you my 6 innings of 3-run ball. We are going to get a quality start out of this outing, but it's not going to be as sexy as it probably was a year or two ago. Obviously, there's something to be said about consistency. There's something to be said about wanting that high. I'm not advocating, which way is better, but back of the baseball card has 3 ERAs that are all remarkably similar to each other. So, but it's not the same pitcher. It's not the same pitch mix. It's not the same attack plan. We're going to touch on that in a minute here, but I'm going to throw it to Cody for a second.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
So, it's a different pitch mix. It's also a different approach. Keller's saying that he was not really looking for a project this offseason whenever I was referencing the changeup, because it was in the 24 offseason. It kind of struck me because he is a tinkerer. Whenever things weren't going well in 2022, the thought was, well, let's add a sinker. Let's see what that does to the pitch mix. As we know, it made other pitches play up. It made his stuff just move better. It gave him a different way to attack. It gave him a sense of confidence. If you want to just look at it the most basic level, like that day that he had in Dodger Stadium where he was just throwing sinkers, it showed like, I can just let it ride. And that's good. That was kind of the vibe I was getting whenever he was talking about the changeup and what he's been working on this year. About how he's looking for something that's repeatable. How he's looking for something that feels good out of the hand. How he's looking for something he trusts the metrics enough of where he had as a baseline. It's like, okay, let's pitch to feel a little bit. And the changeup, he's killing spin. He's getting drop. He's doing a lot of things that you want the changeup to do. It has the velo separation from the fastball. It's like, okay, that pitch could work. The curveball can have 12 to 6. It can work north to south against left-handed hitters. The same way that I was advocating it for Carmen Mlodzinski, it can kind of do that the same too. We haven't seen a lot of the gyro slider, but, he could sweep to right-handers. We also saw him sweep a little more against left-handers as the year progressed last year. Something that I think benefited him as he was crossing the finish line in September. He started to use that as a weapon a little more. Like, I still think north to south against left-handers is the best call, but he showed that he had a confidence that he can, ride it into left-handed hitters and still get outs. That's all part of adaptation. That's all part of growing and what you want to see from someone who is entering his 7th full major league season. 8th, I guess, if you want to count the cameo in 2019. This is a team that has upside in the rotation, but Keller is maybe not as exciting as a lot of these other pitchers. He's not going to hit 100 like Jared Jones and Bubba Chandler is. He doesn't have as big a slider as I think Braxton does, and he's not a Cy Young winner like Paul Skeens does. Like, I don't know if Mitch Keller is going to replicate an all-star season again. I don't think they need that from him, though. They need that steady hand. And if he is relying on feel a little more, I think that shows more just the confidence that he has in the stuff and the attack plan that he has. Like that start I saw him throw up there, him throwing right on right changeups. I don't think he threw a right on right changeup all of last year. I don't think it's going to be a major part of his attack plan, but it's just to show that he has the confidence in the pitch. I know it's an exhibition. I know it's the time of year whenever you are supposed to just experiment, see what feels good, see what works well. How do pitches play off of each other? That's good. I like just seeing the confidence in general because this is a guy who is a leader in the clubhouse. He's a leader in the rotation. He doesn't have to have the low 3 ERA, but they need the 170 innings out of him, 180 innings. And if he can handle left-handers, finally, great. Maybe he can, regain that all-star form. But I think at a certain point, you kind of just understand this is who this pitcher is. And the Pirates need that pitcher right now. The rotation needs steady hands. He can be that type of guy. It's a different Mitch Keller than what we saw a couple years ago. Some would call it an adaptation. He would. Thank you so much for listening to Offbeat here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. Be sure to subscribe wherever you find fine podcasts. We're here also. We will talk again tomorrow.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.